Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Walton, and today I'm going to be talking about the racial implications of Black people in the entertainment industry while also analyzing the infamous 2008 Vogue cover of LeBron James and model Gisele Bündchen. Hope I pronounced that right. Now, racial implications of Black people has been one of the most controversial and talked about statements when it comes to the portrayal of African Americans in either cinema or in art in general. When I was younger, I used to watch old, episodes of Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes where they would portray Black people in a very negative way, whether it was as servants or slaves. They even, anytime a character would, like, let's say mud splashed on their face, or if an explosion went off and their face would become pitch black, they would usually have features that represented Black people, such as big lips and the like braids and stuff like that. Now, when I looked at the Vogue cover of LeBron James and Gisele Bündchen, I instantly saw that resemblance to King Kong, the iconic monster movie from the 1930s. And of course, how the shot is composed, where we have James in a very monstrous presence. He has this very beast mode presence as he is like on the courtroom. And anyone who's watched basketball knows that LeBron James he might be a cool dude like in interviews and stuff, but when he's on the court, he's raw and savage on the court. And Gisele Bündchen, who's the beautiful, blonde, she's in his arm. She's like LeBron James is carrying her, similar to the old commercials. Well, not old commercials, to the old posters that King Kong represented. Now, I somewhat analyzed when I first saw this cover. I instantly thought, okay, even though the captions on the magazine said, this is the example of beautiful bodies when it comes to Black men and Caucasian women, as of course, like LeBron James is the perfect example of a Black man with a great body, and Gisele Bündchen is a beautiful woman with a great body. I feel like they wanted to demonize the look of LeBron James, as he pretty much looks like a savage monster. He looks like this raw, angry presence, whereas Gisele Bündchen is the very glitzy and glamorous type. And this is, of course, attributed back to racism back in the 1800s, of course, with slavery, and even in cartoons where the animators would draw African Americans like monkeys. There's this one short film, I think you can find it on YouTube. It's called Wash Me Mama with a Booming Beat. I believe that's what it's called. You just look up racist cartoons on YouTube and you'll see that the darker complex skinned African Americans looked like chimpanzees, where the lighter skinned African Americans look like actual humans. So I kind of look at that as like the is not really yin and yang, but how African Americans, natural African Americans, are monkeys, and the mixed African Americans are more human. Like, that's, I think, what the animators were trying to convey. And it's really sad because it makes the young kids that were watching these shows back in the day feel ashamed of who they are. When I looked at the cover, I I didn't want to be remembered as a monkey. Being an African American and in this current climate that we live in, I don't want to be remembered as, being painted out as this savage monster. I just want to be painted out as a man, just like everyone else. And even though, this cover somewhat portrays like the strong man athlete, which is LeBron James, and the beautiful woman, which is Gisele Bündchen, it kind of represents how in America, and maybe in art in general, Black men are looked upon as these very reviled and repulsive creatures, even though there is no unique thing that makes us Black, in my opinion. I remember I was having a conversation with one of my friends on my podcast, And she brought up there's not one unique thing that makes African Americans African Americans. We're just like everyone else. The only thing different is that we have a different skin color. We're all human. It doesn't matter what our background is. We're all human. And, I think they should have, in my personal opinion, they should have did a different cover. They should have done something where LeBron James was wearing a suit and something, and Gisele Bündchen was probably wearing a nice dress. Like, let it be matching. But in return, we came across a cover that somewhat pays homage to King Kong while also shedding light on the dark history of the portrayal of black men in art. So those are basically my thoughts. And yeah, what were you all's thoughts on this cover? Peace.